Here we have two completely drained Nintendo Switches. One shows signs of life and starts charging immediately when connected to the charger. The other one shows absolutely no signs of life whatsoever when connected. So how do we fix this? Well, today I'm going to show you how to revive a dead Nintendo Switch that won't charge or power on and get you back into gaming. Let's get started. For this video, I'll be using the standard Nintendo Switch, but almost all these tips can be applied to the Nintendo Switch Lite and OLED models. If you get stuck or know of any other helpful tips I didn't cover in this video, let me know in the comments down below. With that said, let's dive right into the first one. Sometimes dust and dirt can build up inside the Type-C charging port. Cleaning this will give the contact points inside a better connection with the charger. To do this, all you need is a cotton swab and a little bit of isopropyl alcohol. I do recommend you use something that's as close to 100% as possible. I'm using 91% for this video, so it should be fine. Take the cotton swab and saturate it with the isopropyl alcohol and squish it as flat as possible. Now what this will do is help the cotton swab go deeper into the charging port, allowing you to scrub out more of the dust and debris that may be covering the contact points inside. Now this Nintendo Switch charging port wasn't really that dirty, but still this should allow the contacts to make a much better connection with the charger when we plug it back in. But before we do, dry off the charging ports with some compressed air. If you don't have any, that's okay. Just go ahead and let it sit for a while and the isopropyl alcohol should just evaporate by itself. Now plug in your official Nintendo Switch charger and see if anything happens. Usually a few minutes to a few hours does the trick, depending on how long the battery has been drained for. But what if your Switch still doesn't show signs of life? Well, don't worry. There are a few button combinations you can try that usually work and bring your Switch back to life. If simply holding down the power button for 15 to 30 seconds does not work, simply holding down the power button for around 15 to 20 seconds, releasing it, and then tapping it for another second works most of the time. If that didn't work, try holding the volume up, volume down, and power button at the same time for around 15 to 30 seconds. You can also try the power and volume up buttons together for around 15 to 30 seconds, or power with volume down for the same amount of time. One last button combination you can try is to hold down the power button and the home button located on the right Joy-Con for around 15 to 30 seconds. But what if nothing has worked so far? Well, the problem might be your charging source. Using the official Nintendo Switch charger is considered by many to be the best power source in regards to charging your Switch. I won't go into the technical jargon as to why, but basically, it uses a non-standard charging protocol designed for the Switch. You can double check to make sure it's working by plugging it into another Switch or a Type-C rechargeable device. Some of you maybe don't have access to an official charger, or maybe it's not working properly. In which case, you can use a different power source and that just might do the trick. Use anything you have at your disposal. Most of you will probably have a wall USB charging brick, like the ones that come with most smartphones, and a Type-C cable. Multi-USB chargers such as these two have worked for me in the past. They're great to have around the house, and with their multiple power outputs, it meets the charging needs of many devices. Whatever you end up using as your charging source, make sure you have it connected anywhere from a few hours to a whole day, and don't be afraid to use different charging sources if one didn't work. Ideally, whatever you charge your Switch with, make sure to connect it directly to the wall outlet whenever possible. Again, just because you don't see the charging icon, it doesn't necessarily mean it's not charging, but if your Switch still shows no signs of life after letting it charge for a while, go ahead and repeat any of the previously mentioned button combinations and see if any of those are able to bring your Switch back to life. If your Nintendo Switch still isn't powering on, chances are your Joy-Cons are also drained. They do leach off the Switch tablet itself when charging and can sometimes be the reason why your Switch isn't charging properly from a completely drained battery. So let's go ahead and detach the Joy-Cons from the Switch. We can do this by pressing this button behind the Joy-Cons and sliding them out. If you have a Nintendo Switch Lite, you obviously can't remove the Joy-Cons, but it is worth a shot removing the microSD card and game cart from the Switch. Set them aside for now and connect a power source to it. Again, it's always recommended to use the official Nintendo Switch charger whenever possible, but if you don't have one, any of the previously covered power sources will do for now. And just go ahead and leave it connected for a few hours to a whole day, again, depending on how long it's been since you last charged your Nintendo Switch. And with any luck, when you go to turn it on with any of the previously mentioned button combinations, it should power on. For this Switch, just holding down the power button for a few seconds did the trick. Well, it could be anything. It could be an indicator of a deeper issue with your Switch. It could be that the Type-C charging port is damaged, or sometimes it could be liquid damage or corrosion caused by liquid or humidity. It could be any number of components that potentially failed inside the Switch for any number of reasons, and seeing how the Switch is a few years old by now, it may be that the battery just doesn't hold a charge anymore. Honestly, best advice I could offer is to have a professional diagnose the issue, or have Nintendo warranty a repair if you're still within the manufacturer's warranty. You could also check the comments section of this video and see if anyone posted a tip or trick that worked for them, but that I may have missed in this video. Anyway, that does it for this video. Thanks to all of you for your continued support, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tutorials, gaming, and tech videos. And until next time, this has been GTRBytes.